One of my favorite things to do at big events like this is to find out some of the big takeaways for advisors. Well, I'm sitting down with one of the most respected advisors in the industry, Harold Evensky. Harold, welcome.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the compliment.
So Harold, tell me a little bit, what is brand new to you that you're learning here at this conference?
Actually, sort of good news, bad news. There were a couple of things that were going to have me rethinking my whole planning philosophy. First one was a presentation by JP Morgan, their retirement booklet, and talking about the issue of inflation, which we all use as a standard in our planning process, but pointing out if you bifurcate and take out inflation on healthcare, inflation and most of the other things that clients have as goals, really much lower than the number we typically use. That'll make a huge difference. I need to go back and rethink that. The second one was Professor Bernazzi, who's always an incredible speaker and interesting guy, talking about this 4% roughly, or just sort of a fixed real return that I certainly passionately believe in generally. But brings that into question. There's a lot of academic arguments that as people get older, they spend less. I've never been much of a fan of that because it's not clear they're spending less because they want to spend less or because they just don't have it anymore. But what he pointed out is their research shows that, in fact, many people do want to spend less, but it's so they can spend substantially more early on, so you get sort of this downward curve. They said, but about a third actually want to start off lower and spend more. It's only about, I can't remember, 2 to 4% like the fixed concept. I said, whoa, I got to go back and rethink that.
That's really eye-opening. One of the things that stood out to me from our conversation with Shlomo was all his information about how advisors really struggle with client communication. Talk to me about how you guys are using behavioral finance.
It's been integral to our practice ever since I did my original wealth management book, and I came across it and said, wow, these are our people. This is the real world. A lot of different areas, it's integral what we do, what we call our risk coaching process. But if you remember, big issue he said was people just asking their goals, they can't do all of them. And so Bob Curtis of Pi had developed years ago a card game that will sit down and say, let's have fun, put a little pile of which ones you like. And it is fun, and it helps people think of goals that they wouldn't normally get. I think every practitioner should be paying attention to what they can learn from it. I just did a chapter in a book that's coming out. It's Oxford University Press on behavioral finance for practitioners. So,
switching gears a little bit, I know you guys are really involved with millennials and everything you do with Texas Tech, and it's another theme of this entire conference is next gen. Talk to me about some of the themes you're hearing around that and how important next gen is going to be to this industry.
Really important, because there's a handful of us old guys around and old women around, and we're growing like mushrooms, and so we desperately need good talent. That's one of the major goals of the Texas Tech program, is to graduate PhDs, and they've already seeded, I think, 7 other programs. So the opportunity for working in this profession is just extraordinary. Why everyone doesn't do it, I can't imagine. But yeah, no, it's a great opportunity. The reality is, we don't joke because it's true. Someone walks out with a diploma in one hand and 3 job offers in the other. Now, as an employer, it's a problem because it means they got to pay a lot, and the competition is tough. But not only is the likelihood of a job 100%, the likelihood of down the road becoming an owner is almost 100%, because ultimately, we don't want to sell to some big corporation. We want to sell to our people, which we've done in our firm. My original next gen are all owners of the firm, and the new ones, I think we have 7 now tech graduates. Down the road, they'll be owners too.
That's some great stuff, great information on what's happening at this conference. Harold, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. For Investment News, I'm Matt Ackerman.